In 1987, a janitor and a school secretary in a small town in Vermont started doing something almost nobody else in their neighborhood was doing. They weren't rich. They weren't lucky. They never won the lottery, never inherited a dime, never picked a hot stock tip from a magazine. But by the time they passed away, they had quietly built a family fortune worth over $8 million. And the strangest part? Almost nobody knew it until their will was read. This is the true kind of story that gets buried under lottery headlines and crypto hype. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what this family did differently and how you could start doing it this week. Their names were Ronald and Joan. Ronald worked as a janitor at a JCPenney department store. Joan worked part-time as a secretary at a local high school. Neither of them went to college. Neither of them ever made more than about $40,000 a year, even in their best years. If you passed Ronald in the parking lot, you would never guess he was quietly becoming one of the wealthiest people in his town. He wore the same worn-out jacket for years. He drove an old, dented car. His neighbors probably assumed he was just getting by, paycheck to paycheck, like so many working families. But here's the twist. While everyone around him was spending everything they earned, Ronald and Joan were doing something almost invisible. Every single month, without fail, they set aside a portion of their income before they spent a single dollar on anything else. This wasn't a huge amount. We're not talking about thousands of dollars a month. In the early years, it was sometimes as little as $25. But they never skipped a month. Not once. Not during a bad year, not during a recession, not even when money was tight. And that one simple habit, paying themselves first, became the foundation for everything that came after. Now, here's where the story gets interesting, and here's the first big lesson. Ronald started investing that small monthly amount into shares of stable, well-known companies when he was in his 20s. He didn't chase trends. He didn't try to time the market. He picked a handful of solid businesses, the kind of companies that make everyday products people need no matter what the economy is doing, and he held on to those shares for decades. Decades. Not months. Not a couple of years. Decades. This matters because of something called compound growth. When you invest money and leave it alone, you don't just earn returns on the money you put in, you start earning returns on your returns. Over a short period of time, this effect looks small and unimpressive. But over 20, 30, 40 years, it becomes almost unbelievable. Think about it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the top of the hill, it's tiny. You can barely see it moving. But the longer that hill is, the bigger that snowball becomes by the time it reaches the bottom. Time is the hill. And most people give up halfway down, right when the snowball is about to get big. Ronald and Joan never touched that money. They didn't pull it out during the stock market crash of 1987. They didn't panic during the dot-com bust in the early 2000s. They didn't sell during the 2008 financial crisis, even though the news was telling everyone the world was ending. They just kept going. Same small monthly amount. Same handful of companies. Decade after decade. Here's the second lesson, and it's just as important as the first one. Ronald and Joan lived far below what they could technically afford. This wasn't about being cheap for the sake of being cheap. It was intentional. They understood something that a lot of people never fully grasp. Your wealth isn't determined by how much you earn. It's determined by how much you keep. You can meet people who earn $300,000 a year and have almost nothing saved because their spending grows just as fast as their income. And you can meet people who earn $40,000 a year and build a small fortune because they protect the gap between what they earn and what they spend. Ronald and Joan protected that gap fiercely. They repaired things instead of replacing them. They cooked at home instead of eating out. They didn't upgrade their car every few years just because a newer model came out. None of this made them miserable. By all accounts, they were a genuinely happy couple who loved gardening, church activities, and spending time with their kids. They just didn't confuse spending money with enjoying life. And that distinction made all the difference. For most of their working lives, nobody around them had any idea what they were building. Their kids grew up in a modest house. They took simple vacations. From the outside, they looked exactly like every other working-class family in their town. But behind the scenes, that portfolio kept growing. Slowly at first. Then faster. Then faster still. This is the part of the story most people don't have the patience for. In the first 10 years, their investment account might have grown to a few $1,000s. If you looked at that account after a decade of consistent saving, you might think, that's it? That's all this discipline got them. But here's the thing about compound growth. It's incredibly boring in the early years and shockingly powerful in the later years. Most people quit right before the good part starts, because the good part takes a long time to show up. By the time Ronald and Joan were in their 60s, that quiet, unglamorous habit of investing a little bit every single month had turned into a portfolio worth millions of dollars. They never worked a job that paid six figures. They never got a big inheritance. They never won any lottery. They simply let time and consistency do the heavy lifting. When Ronald passed away, the local newspaper ran a small story about him, because word had gotten out about the size of the estate he left behind. People in town were stunned. The janitor. The guy in the worn jacket. The guy who drove the old car. He had quietly built a fortune worth millions. A large portion of that money went to the local hospital and library, because Ronald and Joan believed in giving back to the community that had supported them. But a meaningful portion also went to their children and grandchildren, not as a lump sum meant to be spent quickly, but structured in a way that could keep growing for the next generation. This is where the story becomes about more than just one couple's success. It becomes about generational wealth, the idea that what you build doesn't have to stop with you. It can become a foundation for your children and their children if it's passed down thoughtfully instead of being spent all at once. So, what can we actually take from this story? Let's break it down into 4 lessons you can start applying immediately, no matter how much or how little you currently earn. Lesson 1. Pay yourself first. Before you pay any bill, before you spend on anything else, set aside a portion of your income for investing. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. It just has to be consistent. $25 a month done for 40 years will beat $1,000 invested once and forgotten. Lesson 2. Time in the market beats timing the market. Nobody can predict short-term market movements with any real accuracy, not professional traders, not hedge fund managers, not YouTube finance channels. What actually works is staying invested through the ups and downs and letting decades of compound growth do the work. The families who build real wealth are rarely the ones chasing the next big trend. They're the ones who quietly stayed the course. Lesson 3. Your savings rate matters more than your income. It's tempting to think that building wealth requires a high salary. It doesn't. It requires a gap between what you earn and what you spend, and the discipline to protect that gap. Someone earning a modest income who saves consistently will often end up wealthier than someone earning a large income who spends almost all of it. Lesson 4. Wealth built slowly tends to last. Money that comes from years of disciplined habits usually comes with the mindset needed to keep it and grow it further. That's part of why lottery winners so often end up broke within a few years, while families like Ronald and Joan's manage to pass wealth down for generations. The habit matters just as much as the money itself. Ronald and Joan never had a dramatic breakthrough moment. There was no lucky stock pick, no lottery ticket, no unexpected inheritance. What they had was decades of quiet, unglamorous consistency, and that turned out to be more powerful than almost any shortcut you could imagine. Real generational wealth isn't usually built by getting rich fast. It's built by ordinary people making small, boring, disciplined decisions over and over for a very long time and then simply refusing to quit. If this story gave you something to think about, that small step you keep putting off, opening that investment account, setting up that automatic transfer, might be worth taking this week instead of someday. If you want more real stories like this one, stories about how everyday people quietly built real wealth. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because there are a lot more of these stories still to come.